Hello there and welcome to this channel. My name is Martin Botvidsson and I will shoot a perfume bottle today. And why are we going to shoot a perfume bottle, you might say? Well, because that's the photos I like to be hired for. I told you this many times, that you need to shoot the stuff you want to be hired for. I see many portfolios where it's a big mix of photos, landscapes, weddings, products, and whatnot. You might feel that you're an expert in all this kind of photography. Well, I got news for you. You're not. I'm sorry, but that's the case, at least in the eye of the client. When they come to you, go to your Instagram, portfolio, website, whatever, they don't want to be confused. Clients don't go for the best option. They go for the least risky option. So you need to be an expert in one genre, one niche. It's super important. So if you have a mix in your portfolio and you don't get any work, start from scratch, delete everything, and then start to focus on one thing. Today we're focusing on a perfume bottle, because this is the stuff I want to be hired for. Not particularly perfume bottles, but still life. I love to build up my own scenes, you know. This is very fun, I think. So we will do this today, and hopefully you can get inspired and you know the regular stuff. So how do we start? Step one, you need to find inspiration, of course, and this can be very, very tricky. So I start to Google, I start to go to Pinterest. That's my favorite site for inspiration, actually. You just search for perfume bottle, and then you see what comes up, and then you click one of them you like, and then you scroll down, and then you get so many more suggestions, you know. So that's a good thing. But I don't want you to copy. You find a photo, oh, I love this, I will try to do exactly the same. That can be good for practicing, to learn. But if you're creating your own photo, I think you should get inspired by other photos. I often take small elements from different photos, you know. I found a light that I like, and then I apply it on my scene, tweak it a bit, and then I take something, I like this shadow play over this photo. Maybe I can have this in my shot, you know. And you can also do what I did. I went to the community. I mean, there's so many photographers out there, so you can ask, and please help me, I'm shooting a perfume bottle, what should I do? And that's what I did, you know. The thing that came up a few times, outdoors, perfume bottle outdoors. It's a bit cold, we're in Sweden, so maybe I can, instead of walking to the forest, I can bring the forest to the studio. So that's what I did. Over here, you know, this wild, crazy setup. It took way too long to set up, but it's, you know, this is how it is. So step two, we need to find these props to support our hero, the product you are shooting. I went to the forest to get all this stuff. In my head, I was thinking, what will happen if I take like dead branch and put the perfume bottle on it? This was the idea I had. Branch, bottle. And from there I build up. I picked up some other stuff you will see in the shot soon. And then I starting to build up the scene, you know. Step three, now it's time to set the scene. Did you see me over here? This is the big branch, and I placed it like this. I tried to find a branch where the bottle will fit, you know, have this. So I placed it there, and then I just started to put up different elements And I'm using, you see these small ones, and then I'm using stands to just clamp it. And then there is a bit more stuff, and back there I have this red element behind it. You see that one? You know, red, complementary color to green. The bottle is placed with a fishing line so it will not fall off. We kind of built the stuff in layers, you know. Close to the camera I have some flowers, so we are creating depth in the scene. And then the stuff will come here. There is this reddish plant again, and it's also behind the bottle. And then I just keep adding towards the background. Step 4, set the light. I always start with the background. I think this is the best way. It's 3 lights, maybe 4. Here we have the first one. This is light A, and then we have one for the bottle, B, and then we have the backlight. C is over here. We will start with this one, the sun back there. So I will turn that on. C on. Whoa. So this is the backlight, and this can also be good to put on with this modeling light, so you can see when you're setting the scene. You can work in live view to look, and then you're setting everything up. But I often take test shots, starting with like now it's like an overall light, and then it's easy to see how to set the scene up. I want to create some kind of like the sun, you know, that it comes. So it's important to have it as far away as possible to replicate the sun. You don't want it to fall off quickly. I'm using a background. And because I wanted to have this flash as far away as possible, all the way up to the wall, I had to cut out a small hole for the light to hit the scene. And you also see I have a small CTO, color temperature orange gel, just to make it a bit warmer. Let's take a shot again with the background down and only this backlight. What do we get? Probably a bit darker scene. Get this. We will start like this. I will start like that if I don't have some light on the background. But actually I have a flash over here. I thought that it would be too dark back there, so let's turn this guy on. What's your name? D. On. So, and here we have a pro photo with a reflector, so it will not spread everywhere. You are controlling the light with this. So we have this reflector on, and it's the same with the one at the back, reflector, so it will not spill out on the sides and affect the scene. Flash number 2, shooting through a gobo. It's this. It's just black wrap, thin foil, and I just cut some random holes in it, with a knife. So it will be a bit of a random light pattern on the background. So let's take a shot now, see if we get some subtle light on the background. Yes, if we only have this dark background, it will be too dark. And if we have some light on the background, it will create, we have this depth in the scene that I like. But at the same time, now we see that there is a background there. It feels like there's a guy putting up plants and whatnot on stands, and then the forest ends, and then there is this background. Well, we have to see. We will put on the 2 last flashes to see if we can keep this or not. Maybe we can turn down the power. But for now, we have the backlight and we have the second one hitting the background. So now the background is taken care of. Now I will turn on the light for the bottle and let's take a shot. There we have the bottle, and I cut out a piece of Savage medium plastic diffusion material, and this Profoto D2 have a zoom reflector on and a honeycomb grid, so the light will be very narrow because we need to control it as much as possible. But I see in the scene now, it doesn't only hit the product, it also hits up here on the branch, you see on the top there. And I'm not so sure about this, but we can always take that out in post. Because when you are doing this kind of scenes, it's very hard to get to the product with the perfect light. So then you have to consider if you need to do a composite, take several images and put them together in Photoshop. And this we will most likely do today. So first we focus on the scene and then we take care of the product, because this is our hero, we need to treat it with love, you know. And we have one more flash, Profoto D2, again with a zoom reflector to narrow the light and narrow it even more to put on this honeycomb grid again, a 10-degree honeycomb grid this time. Because this light, this will, let's take a shot, let's put it on. Is it on? No. Flash A, light, and let's take a shot. And then we will see what we will get. It hits the branches and also a bit on the product. We can probably do it like this. I will shut off all the flashes and let's put on only the flash number A, because this one is quite important. We need to have a bit of light, as you see. And this one from the top, it shoots through a diffusion, Savage medium, translume, and it creates a very soft light on the branches around the bottle, so it will not be totally dark. And then again, let's put on B. Now we're going the other way around. Now we're turning on the light for the perfume. We can put on the sun again. Let's take a shot. Now we get the backlight back, the sun, and I love that this red stuff is lit up a bit. Let's put on the background lights through the gobo again. What's your name? D, on, shoot. Even if I turn down the power on this one, still it's very clear that the forest ends, and I really don't like that, because I really need to bring the whole forest for it to look realistic, putting up a lot of stuff back there to make it look realistic. Now it looks a bit thin, so right now I decide I will not go with this light. Now you know how you can do this. Okay, let's kill this. So now we only have 3 flashes. The sun through the hole behind the background, the top light on the branches, and for the bottle. So it's like 3, and this is what we have. This will be the final image. Okay, now we have set the light for the scene. Now it's time to take a shot. It's time for step 5. For taking the shot, we need, of course, to have a camera. And today, Hasselblad sent me the H6D 400 multi-shot camera. I'd like to thank Hasselblad a lot. That's very kind. Let me try out this monster. Because it's normally I use my old one, the H5D, you know. But don't be scared, people, now. If you're just starting out with photography, you can use any camera when you're starting out, you know. But when you're working as a professional, I need to have the best stuff, you know. The client demands this, so I need to have the best quality and the stuff I can rely on, like Profoto flashes. You know, they never failed on me once, so it's very important to have this consistency in between the flashes. the color will be perfect. You know, when I'm standing outside in a restaurant and shooting, I'm working on a cookbook right now for the top restaurant. I cannot show up with stuff that will fail on me. Where are we? I think we are at step 5. We are going to take the shot. I mentioned the camera, and we have a macro lens, 120 millimeter, and ISO, the lowest, the maximum flash sync speed, shutter speed should be the max sync. I always get this wrong. Maximum flash sync speed, yes. And for this camera, it's like beyond this world. But I set it at, where is it now? It's 1/1000 of a second, but it goes to the moon. So, but for this, it's fine. We get the black canvas. It's underexposed enough so we don't get this ambient light will affect the shot. And then I have, what aperture are we using? We are using aperture 8 because I want to have a bit shorter depth of field. So that's why I chose a larger aperture. Okay. Before we take the shot, is there something in the scene we need to tweak or need to fix? I see this one. This light from below is hitting this, and we don't really need that, I feel. This one, where should I put this one? Now it should be gone. I took it off. Yes. I have a black flag blocking a bit of this light coming from below. That's why we get a kind of a gradient on the light. So it's blocking at the bottom. So the space down here I'm not so fond of. It looks very crowded, a little bit left heavy photo with stuff over here. And here feels like there's something missing here. Maybe we can place this guy down there somehow. Let's take a test shot to see if I placed it in a good spot or not. Yes, I think this is nice. We're blocking, get some more action going on here. So now it's time to take the photograph. And this camera is a bit special. It will take 6 shots and combine them. I feel that the light on the bottle is not nice enough. If you look at the bottle there, you see there are some dark shadows going on, and that is probably, yes, it's from these red guys behind, because the backlight is hitting this plant and that creates shadows on the back. What I will do, take separate shots and combine them in Photoshop. We will take one for the scene, then we will take a separate shot to create the best light for the bottle as we can, because it's very hard to reach this bottle, so we need to do a composite, and that's fine, you know. So now it's time to take the photograph. Finally, aperture is fine. I will set this to 6 shot. That will create a 400 megapixel shot, and we lift up the mirror so there will be no movement. And now we will take the shot. Probably I should not stand in the way. That's the first. Very exciting. Should I do a dance for you while we taking the shot? Probably not. Yes, and now we have a 400 megapixel shot, and this is crazy. Wow. You know. Okay, so then we have the first shot. Now I want to light the bottle in the best way, and without moving the camera, I will shut off the back light that is C. So now it will only be the light for the bottle at the front, the branches, and also the back light for the bottle. So here we go again. Here we have the second one. And now it's only for the light on the bottle. So there we have the shot. Now we just need to combine these two photos in Photoshop and retouching a bit, adding some vignette, probably a bit on the branch there, I feel, spontaneously, so the eyes will be drawn as much as possible to the bottle. And also, if I don't like, I see that these branches, they have like a green hue, maybe I will tone that down. So let's jump into Photoshop and take a look what we need to do. Okay guys, now we're in Photoshop, and I will go through all the steps that I done in Photoshop. I will not show you the retouching process because that took a few hours, but I will show you all the layers, and it's basically two images. This is the first one with the overall nice light, and then the other one with the backlight turned off, so the bottle is nice. Yes, and here we have the Photoshop file that I've been working on. The first image, and this is the second one. So I just add this light to so it looks a bit nicer on the bottle, and then I turn down this highlight a bit. I forgot to do the smoke. You know, the idea was to put on the smoke machine so it would not be so harsh, this sun back there, but I forgot. That could be really nice if you have a bit of mist back there, you know. And then we move on. Yes, this is the cleanup layer. I took away the fishing line, of course, and a bit of specular highlights. I turn it off and on. And also the straw and the digits at the back of the bottle. And I fixed a bit, straightened the lines a bit on the Perfume there. The branch, I accidentally, I was trying out to paint this branch with some American oak oil, but it was way too dark. So I had to fix this in Photoshop. I extended the branch there a bit. What else? This is the name of the Perfume. It was too dark, it disappeared, so I brightened it up a bit. And here I took away the yellow cast in the silver parts. Color balance, I'm moving towards overall red, selective color. I really like when this is red, so I changed that. So it's a bit more reddish tone to this plant. I think it looks nice. And then I took down the saturation a bit so it's not so much in your face. What else? A bit of brighten up there. And what is this? Yes, this is the only part I'm not that happy with. This part, it should have a bit more plants on this side, I feel. I lifted up the shadows a tiny bit on this side. And a bit more curse layer, a bit more red tone. And here is some, I took down the saturation on the branch. And what is this? I don't know. Some small minor details. I put a bit of darken on top there. Color balance layer. I put some blues in the shadows. Curse layer for some reason. And now I have some cloud effect again there. I'm working on the top there. And then I changed my mind. I turn it down. It should be bright, but not that bright, I think. I'm trying to save that part. And what's next? This is bit contrast on the Perfume bottle and some small tweaks, and there I took down that even more on top left. And here's some burning on the Dodge and Burn tool. I'm darkened down the branch, and here on the cap, I felt it was too dark. This one I actually took from one of the other pictures, and this rim lights on the sides I just faked a bit, so it's not totally disappears there. So we have something. And what else? Something else happening here. I don't know. I think this is the final image, and we can look at the before, after. It's just minor tweaks, I would say, and changing the colors a bit to my liking, to my style, you know. Yes, that's it. And back to you, Martin. Yes, that was Photoshop. And that was not that hard, was it? Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're safe out there. And as always, I see you next
time.